What's up, guys? Dylon here, and today I'm going to be talking about some complaints or questions I saw in this video about the Vitruvian. So comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So I was watching this video, and props to the guy for being a YouTuber, making content. I appreciate the hustle. The title of the video is something like, "Don't buy a Vitruvian before watching this." And I was like, okay, interesting, let's check it out. And it's like an hour-long thing. I think maybe the guy did it live, but there was a few things he talked about there that was hating on the Vitruvian. So I want to address those things because they were just wrong. I think they were just wrong. And I think part of the problem was that he didn't have a Vitruvian himself, right? He didn't go out and buy the thing and use it. He had just heard. And so he made this video and it got a couple thousand views or whatnot. And I would have liked to see the guy like use the Vitruvian for a period of time, like bought one, used it, then returned it at least so he can give like like an actual like assessment of it. And I think it seemed like his background was comparing against tonal. Because one thing that he got was wrong, that what he's talking about smart handles. And so smart handles basically are, I think what tonal has, is there's like a button on the side. So you basically click the button to engage the weight or disengage the weight to start the workout. Okay. And he was questioning that on Vitruvian, whether it had it, whether it didn't. And it was a split decision on that where he was like, it's negative that it doesn't have it, but then it's positive that it has it, but then there's other issues. And so for the smart handles, here are my thoughts on smart handles. I think they have a functionality. There's some functionality to it. Do I think they are essential for our smart home gym? No. I think you just need to understand how the smart home gym works. And this is going to get to the second big criticism he had. But you need to understand how a smart home gym works and make sure your workout fits with that, or adapt your workout to work on a smart home gym because it's different than physical weights. And when we're talking about handles, Vitruvian does it differently. Vitruvian doesn't use smart handles or anything like that. What they do is you program it in the app, so it's on your phone, and you tell it how much weight you want, what type of workout mode, time under tension. Do you want to add the beast mode component to it? Do you want to do old school? Do you want to do progression? Do you want to do pump? Do you want to do regression? You can set all these parameters in the app, which for a beginner can be overwhelming. But if you look at it like it's a new toy, just play with it, learn. Use light weights and learn the different modes. Learn what modes you like and don't like for whatever particular exercise. Learn what accessories you like and don't like for whatever particular exercise, and you'll be fine. But with Vitruvian, you set it in the app, you tell it how many reps, and what it does is Vitruvian does 3 calibration reps, okay? And the calibration reps start from when you hit play on the exercise, press go on the exercise, and you do 3 of them. So the reason why 3 is a decent number for this is, one, I think internally, Vitruvian kind of has an idea on if you're doing a back squat, for example, it has a rough idea of what the range of weight should be, okay? And then when you hop on it and you do the calibration reps, it gives you, it calibrates it to you individually, like depending on your height, depending on what depth you're able to go to, it can calibrate that. And the reason why 3 works is because if you're using your phone or something like that, the first rep is always a wash because as you see, these cables are down here tucked on the machine. And if I were doing squats, I'd be using a safety cable here so I don't get crushed by the barbell. So I don't get crushed by this barbell because there's not a lot of space right there. With this, if this was on my back, you don't want that. So you want to make sure you're safe with a machine like Vitruvian. You want to make sure you're safe with lifting weights in general. If this is heavy stuff, just be focused. So the first rep is always like lifting it up onto your back. And I think Vitruvian gets that. They understand that. The second one is you go down and stand back up. The third one, you go down and stand back up. And then this got into the next complaint because after those 3 reps, the weight doesn't load immediately, okay? In order to get the weight to load, for the squat, for the back squat, you have to squat back down, right? And then as you're squatting back up, you start to feel the weight load. And then you get to the top and you pause for a second and you can feel the rest of the weight loading. Perhaps you've seen videos of me doing deadlifts, and on the first rep of my actual sets, right, the weight doesn't load until the top. So I'll pause a little bit longer there. And I can see my phone and I watch the weight load on the bar. That's important, okay? That's not necessarily a pro or a con. The guy tried to make it out, oh, the Vitruvian engineers don't know what they're doing because they load the weight at the wrong time in the reps, right? It doesn't matter, okay? They do it, the reason why I think they do that, and I'll speak for Vitruvian, is it's safer that way, right? It's safer to not just load a bunch of weight to automatically have all the weight on the bar all of a sudden, right? It primes your body. And the other thing is with this is that it can gauge. So if you fail on that rep on the way up, right? Like Vitruvian will help. They have safety things installed. So if the weight comes down too fast, right, it'll get messed up. You've seen in my videos where the weight goes up too fast, it'll get messed up because they want to protect their users. They don't want people getting hurt on the machine. And props to that. I don't want people getting hurt using this machine either. And it does a really good job of, when you use it correctly, being very safe and very effective. And once I figured that out, one of my favorite exercises is 5 sets of 5 reps, right, at heavy weight. And basically what you do is you want the 5 reps to be about as heavy as you can do 5 reps for. And the 5 sets, you want to be struggling at the end there. And so the whole goal is that you're not maxing out, but you're getting pretty close to what you can max out for 5 reps or 5 sets. And then the next week, the next time you do it, you add a little bit more weight on there. And that's how you get stronger. That's a pretty good method for gaining strength. It's simple, it's easy, it's how you get stronger. The 5 sets of 5 heavy reps. So that's what I would do with traditional barbells and all that kind of stuff. With Vitruvian, I realized that I was cheating because I would do 5 reps, but since the first rep didn't count because the weight loading thing, I needed to add a 6th rep. So that's all I did. I added a 6th rep. So the first rep of my sets of, now it's 5 sets of 6 reps. The first rep of that is a half rep. I count it as a half rep. It's an extra calibration rep, and it gets me in position to really start my set. So as a user, you just need to adapt to that element of the machine. And that's just part of learning your equipment, learning the tools that you're using. You adapt to them. And so that was like the second criticism the guy had. One was like, he's talking about smart handles, Vitruvian doesn't have it. 2, he's talking about the weight loading thing, and it doesn't get on there at the right time. It does, right? You just need to figure out and adapt for your workouts. It's a minor change you make when you're doing it. Once you figure it out, it's not a problem. It's no big deal. And I think it works great. And one other complaint I saw in that video, which was someone was complaining that you're tied to your phone. You have to do it through your phone and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a pro and con to that. I think in the future it'd be cool if there was just a controller you could have for this. If they had a digital screen, they're not going to do it. But if they had a little keypad on here, whatever, if they had something cool built into the machine where you didn't have to use your phone, I think that'd be pretty neat. But everyone's got a phone these days. And I think the one downside I've found with using your phone is not that I have to program the stuff in the phone app. That's not that big of a deal. I actually like it. I like how I can adjust and adapt that kind of stuff. The downside is if I'm listening to a podcast or a YouTube video, that kind of thing on my phone as well, or if I want to use my phone to film and get video content and use the Vitruvian, it's a little more complicated and a little more difficult to do it that way. There's workarounds, there's different things you can do. Having 2 devices works well, having a camera and then your phone, having a GoPro, you can do that. It just increases the amount of devices. That's a slight downside, but overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal for the Vitruvian. I just think you just got to adapt to it. Those are the complaints that I heard in the video. If those are some concerns you've had or you have questions around the functionality of this machine, make sure to leave some comments below and let me know, and I'll make a video on those. And so that's it for this video. Just to conclude, I think the machine's great. It's fantastic. I just did a 15-minute chest workout. In 15 minutes, it's got an amazing pump on full chest workout. Super easy, super quick, feel great, feel pumped up. It's one of the best machines for that. Literally in 15 minutes, you can get an amazing pump, an amazing workout done. So if you don't got time, if you don't got a ton of space, if you still want to be able to lift relatively heavy, this machine is the machine for you. So with that said, I have a link below in the comments. Use code Dylan Bradley for $100 off if you order, or use the link below. That kind of stuff, it helps support the channel. It helps me make more videos for you. So that's it for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.